Is your 10 and 12 ounce lights flashing? That means the machine is telling you it's time to descale. It's had 300 cycles on it, and we got to put it into descale mode in order to clean it. Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to show you how to descale this Instapod 2-in-1 coffee and espresso maker. So is your 10 and 12 ounce flashing? That means it's telling you you've had 300 cycles on the machine and it's time to descale it. This machine, you have to put it into a descale mode in order to get those to stop flashing. So if your espresso and your coffee are not as hot as that used to be, or is this machine getting really loud, those are all signs that it could be time to descale also. I like to descale mine at least every 6 months, but if I have really hard water, then I'd probably do it every 4 months. So I've got the manufacturer's instructions here. It talks about descaling it. Now it says I can use household descaler, which is vinegar, or I can use citric acid. So I've got vinegar, and the Keurig Descaling solution is actually citric acid. But if we use citric acid, it wants a ratio of 3 to 100. If we use vinegar, it wants a ratio of 1 to 4. And that's cleaner to water. So the first thing we're going to do is lift this up, make sure there's no K-cup in here. We're not going to put in an espresso pod, but we do need all of this installed. Go ahead and close it. Okay, so the thing about descale mode. So when I put this into descale mode, by holding the 10 and the 12 ounce button, it's going to run whatever amount of solution I've put back here, like I'm going to put vinegar and water at a certain ratio. Whatever amount I put back here, it's not, when it enters descale mode, it has to run that completely dry in order for it to come out of descale mode. So I'm not going to fill the whole tank up with vinegar and water. I'm only going to go about to the 20 ounce mark. You know, if you haven't done it for a while, you maybe go up to the 50 ounce mark with a different ratio, but I'm going to do it right around the 20 ounce mark and show you. So the first thing I like to do is whatever water's in the reservoir, I like to empty it so I can get my ratio. Okay, I've got my water reservoir empty. Again, I'm going to use the 20 ounce mark. So I'm going to use about 5 ounces, which is about a half a cup of pure vinegar. So I'm going to pour that in there. So if you don't have a measuring cup, so just right about there to vinegar. Now I'm going to fill it up to the 20 ounce mark with just fresh water, maybe about the 30 ounce mark. So somewhere, yeah, I went a little over, so about the 25 ounce. So I've got my vinegar and my fresh water in. If I was going to use the descaling solution, this is the citric acid, the Keurig solution. This is a little more expensive, but I wouldn't use that much. I would use about, maybe about 2 ounces of this, and then the rest up to about the 25 ounce mark of water. There's the household descaler of 1 to 4 ratio of cleaner to water, and then the citric acid 3 to 100. Okay, so next I've got the water installed. So when I put this into descale mode, it's going to run all that through. So I either have to have a container. Now the water coming out is going to be hot. So I either have to empty this into another container, or you can take the drip tray away and put a larger container so that it just goes right into the larger container. This is very important to have something ready, because once we start descale mode, it's going to run that completely all the way through. So you've got to be ready for it. And the water is really hot. If you run into a problem, you got to unplug it to stop the descale mode. Okay, so now we're going to turn the machine on. Okay, so with the machine on, I'm going to hold down the 10 and the 12 ounce button. It's going to go into descaling mode. Those will start flashing. Okay, it didn't work that time, so try again. Press down on both of them. Okay, see how they're flashing? The rest of the lights went off. Now I'm in descale mode. It's going to start running that vinegar and water through the machine. And the entire time, those 2 lights are flashing. So it kind of starts and stops. There's not one continuous stream coming out. It kind of goes for a little bit and then stops. Okay, so it's still going. I've still got a little bit of water to go. I emptied that out once already. Okay, so I've updated this video. So the book says to let the machine run dry. I don't like to do that. I think you can damage some internal components. So before the water gets, so it's past the minimum, but it's going to start getting to where it's going to suck in air. Come up here, it's in descale mode. Hit one of the buttons, and it takes it out of descale mode. See how everything's stopped, even though these are flashing. Hit the power button, and now you're back to normal. And now you're back to normal. So I don't like to run appliances dry. I've done this a couple times by running it dry, and it doesn't sound very good when you run it dry. So now I've got that's leftover vinegar or descale solution and water. I'm going to go dump that out, fill this up with fresh water, put it into descale mode again, and clean it out that way. Okay, I've got it filled up to the max line again. Again, make sure there's no cake up in here. This is all nice and empty. I got my container empty. It says to put it back into descale mode. So press these two buttons. Okay, so it primed the pump again. Now it's not going to stop again. It's not going to stop till it runs this entire tank through. I find that I don't want to run the entire tank dry again. So I'm going to sit here and baby it. And when it gets around to the minimum mark, I'm going to stop it. So start to finish, you're looking at about 35, 40 minutes almost. Okay, so my freshwater rinse, I got down to about the 20. That means I ran that much water through the machine to clean out the descaling agent. So I think that's good enough. What you can do is when it's in descaling mode, you can just press one of those buttons and it'll come out of descaling mode, or press the power button. It's a little tricky, but you should be able to get it to come out of descale mode. That way it doesn't run that tank dry again. I really don't like running appliances dry. So thanks everybody for watching.